Today I'll be reviewing the digital dash that I found on AliExpress for the Honda Navis. So far, it looks pretty decent. The build quality is about on par with the normal Navi plastics and dash. And to be fair, that's all right with me. For the whole price, including shipping, I think I got it for $50 Canadian. And I opted to get the one that doesn't come with the outer trim plastic here, just to save some money, and plus just to show more steps just in case. So initially it looks good, and what you have is just on the back side you have for your speed cable, you have plugs for everything else and stuff like that. The only downside I've heard about this so far is some people have said that it might be hard to see during the daytime. I can't tell yet, obviously, because it's not installed. I'll probably post later on Reddit, on the Navi forums, any downsides or anything like that. And the other thing is you won't keep your original mileage, obviously, because this is a mechanical mechanism for that, and it's not like electronically stored or anything. So yeah. So for fitment, my original dash over here is okay. The panel gaps are alright. This here is alright too. But I know when I first got mine, for whatever reason, right here has always been bad. So this will just be like a comparison for when I have it installed, if it changes or if it makes it worse or whatever. But yeah. So first steps on installing this dash would be removing these 4 Phillips head screws. So 2 on this side, and there'll be another 2 on the same spots on the other side, so there and down there. That should pop out your headlight, and then after that there'll be more. So I'll go do that now. So after doing those 4 screws, your headlight should just pop out. So usually pull from the bottom, it should go like this. Then after that, just kind of wiggle it out. It should kind of fall out after that. There you go. And on the back side, of course, there's the connector for your headlight. So you just pop this out. There's your headlight. The next step after that would be pushing these little like white tabs. It's kind of hard to see there. I already did this side over here. But you push these tabs in with pliers like this, and then you push up, and it should pop out. This step is a little hard to get on camera, but I'll show it after it's out. So now, before removing the front dash, you want to unscrew your throttle cable. So just this metal bracket or cable part here. It'll be pretty tight at the start, so you want to get some pliers and just grab it and twist it loose. And once it's broken loose, you can unscrew it with your hands. Just pull this out. It's a little cable like this. And then you want to find the black connector. There'll be a little locking piece here. You just push this down. And once you push that down, you should be able to pull it out of the plug. So yeah, just this little piece here. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, just this little piece here you push down and it locks into here. So just push that down and pull it out. Then after that, you want to come in and find 2 wires. So I believe if you look at the new dash, it's these 2. So it's like a red and like light blue color, and then just a solid blue connector. So if we look in here, you find these 2 at the back here. They should just pull out. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, so there you go. So once that's done, you should be able to lift your dash up a little bit, and you'll have enough room to undo these screws holding in the actual dash part here. So you just want to undo those. They're all just Phillips. So just take a screwdriver, just start undoing them all. Alright, so I got the original dash out. The only issue I had when taking it out is basically the like tube that the threads are in for the screw that goes here. It pokes through the plastic here, and it just wouldn't release from that. So I just had to go from the front side and kind of push down on it, and it released eventually. So yeah, this is the original one. And now the digital dash one, you can see same size, same everything. Back's a lot more cleaner on this one, obviously. Not as much stuff going on. So yeah. Okay, so the first part that I did film was the initial removal and install of the original dash to the new digital one. And I didn't realize at the time, but the plugs are completely different. This one here is the original one. So from the original Honda Navi dash, you can see just how many pins there are. I think you can fit 9 in total in here. So it's a 3x3 like connector. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, so like 3 that way and 3 that way connector. While the one I received is a perfect 6 in total one. So what I did is, this is the digital dash. I removed the plug off of this and depinned it, so every single one of these pins would have been in here. How I did that is I took some tweezers like this, and if you look at these pins, I don't know if I get in focus. You can kind of see there's this little tab. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So there's this little tab right here, and when it's in the connector, it's like this. I took my tweezers and basically pushed that piece down. Yeah, push this piece down, and then, yeah, right there, push that down, and then you should be able to pull this out of the connector. And I basically did that to every single one of these, and on the original one, you're going to want to do that once again too. So the plan for that is basically depin this connector here. Take this like outer plastic piece, put it onto this new dash. And if all goes well, you won't have to worry about this stuff. And then you're not cutting and splicing these original wires just in case you want to go back. Make sure before you're doing this that you at least take pictures of how the pins are set up. You can see I already removed one, but I took pictures beforehand. So you want to make sure you want to take pictures of the whole setup of every single wire, its position, and what color goes where, just in case you have to revert back. So I'll finish off removing these. Hopefully you guys can see. So I found this connector is on the locker, still a little bit. If you count this one, I'm sure have the same pins. So same pins. I use just basically my guess is this one here is before a non-magnetic, so next one or he or this is magnetic. So that's the dash. Everything same. Colors for the connector are pretty similar also. I think only one or two different slightly. Yeah. All right. So that's the original gauges and dashboard depinned. As you can see, I don't know if you can tell on there, but same type of connectors, different color, different material, but that's all right. So this is the plug we want, the one that's the bigger one with the locking mechanism at the top here compared to this one. So you can see this one almost, yeah, this one fits inside the other connector. We want the bigger one. This is the original one for the North American Navis. So you can move all this stuff off to the side. I did have to cut this shield or insulation off a little bit just to get access to it, make it a little bit easier, because before it was like this. So you want to separate two wires that aren't going to be put back in, because these are different types. They have their own connectors. So you want all these. So if I look correctly, okay, so green will be negative on these. So find green. And on the original connector, what I seem to have from my pictures is the green was in the middle one. So put this little piece here off to the left, and the green should be in the middle top one up here. don't remember which way these connectors go. I think the little tab you want to face down. So push it in and it should lock like that. You can see, so now it's poking out there. That should be good. So black is positive for whatever reason. Usually it's ground other than green, but so find black. And black on the original connector would have been all the way down at this one. So this bottom left corner. Push that one in. Make sure it clicks and it stays in. All right. So yellow on here and here should be fuel, the fuel level. So take this one, and this one goes. So in the middle column, all the way to the right, is where the yellow one goes, or should go. Once again, check if it locks. Light blue is all the way to the top right, so top row to the right, like this. Okay. Orange, I'm pretty sure goes up here to the left, up there. So that leaves one more. I think it'll go down here. So final connector should be orange in the top left, green in the top middle, light blue in the top right. Then middle row should only have yellow in the middle right, far right, and then bottom row should just be black in the bottom right or bottom left, and then the red and white wire in the middle. So, all right. So after doing the wiring, I plugged it in. It'll be the first test. So I'll put my key in. Even though it's a little messed up. Okay, key is on. There we go. Everything lights up fine. Fuel gauge looks about right because I accidentally left a full tank of fuel in here before the winter. Battery gauge seems about right because once again, battery's been parked forever. High beams are on. You can see the high beam light is on. Flick that off. It's off now. So there we go. Yeah, that works. Alright, so after doing the repin on the new dash, you can see I cleaned up the original plastic I had to cut just to keep it all nice and tidy. So, as you can see, all redone to the old plug on the original dash. You want to take it, put it back in, line it up with the original shape of this top piece. So line up like the shape of the dash. Then you just want to screw it in from the back. Make sure where the threads are for this dash, there's these little pegs basically for where the threads go. The dash kind of pushes up into those pegs, if that makes sense. Yeah, like that. So there's this little hole there, that where the threads are for the screws. Kind of goes into the circle hole of the dash. You just push it in. It should hold it in enough for you to put screws in. Alright. Once that's in, just line up these pegs here where the push snap-in connectors basically go with these trim pieces here. And it should just, should just pop back in. So make sure it's all lined up. Best way to do that is kind of put it in the right position, look from underneath, see if they're going in the right spot. And if you just smack it like that, it should pop in. Yeah. So now that it's in, it's all good. The dash is secure. After that, you want to take your plugs. So big plug obviously goes to the big black plug too, and it should click in. All right, make sure it locks just so it's secure. And then for these two wires here, there should be two loose little wires like this. Take the blue one to the blue one. Put the insulator over just to keep it secure and also protect it from the elements. And then the other wire, the light green with red, goes to the white with the green stripe. That's the only difference I've seen so far for these, but they do work. So same thing, plug it in and then slide the insulation over. Should be good like that. One other thing before closing it up, you want to make sure you install your throttle speed cable. So take this, make sure if you have enough room. I'm going to slot it up into this piece here. You should be able to kind of push it in. Probably easier if you didn't install the dash before doing this, but alright. So put it in like this. Slide this threaded neck piece basically back up, thread it back on. Once it gets tight, you want to grab your pliers. Just kind of give it a little bit more of a turn to tighten it up solidly. There you go. Okay, so then after doing that, you can come around, take your key, put it in, turn it on. There you go, it works. So you can see it does a sweeping animation. Gas is filled because of course I left it with a full tank of gas for the winter, which is a great idea. Battery level there. You can see turn signal is working. I do have the protective film still on, that's why it's bubbly. Other turn signal working. Turn on high beams. High beams is on. You can turn that on and off. So everything's working there. So yeah. Wiring works out fine. So then once that's done, you want to take your headlight. So take your headlight, come around here, make sure all the wires are tucked back a little bit. Plug in your front light. Mine's an LED, so it should be a lot brighter than stock, which is nice. And then just kind of slide this top piece up here underneath first if you can. So like that. So come at it at an angle like this and feed the top little lip underneath. You can see there's a clip if you look at yours. Then you just want to line it all up. Make sure these screw holes match up with the metal threads that are onto the plastic pieces back there. Then if everything is okay, it should slot in fine. Alright, so find your Phillips screws for them. Take them and screw the headlight back in, like how it was originally. We'll have to add some pressure just to keep the panel gaps okay. Alright, once you have the headlight in, you want to test it and see if everything works. So put your key in, turn it on. As you can see, headlight still works. Nice and bright LED. Brights also work. So yep. Dash is also still working. Take this cover off now that it's all properly installed. You don't have to worry about scratching it as much. So it's nice and clear. Obviously, not daytime. Still dark, cold outside, so I can't really test it too well. At least with the garage lighting I do have, it is coming off pretty clear. The panel gaps, still the same as when I got mine from the start of this. All around, still the same. This, still at the same level, nice and solid, no like creaking or anything. So yeah, still plastic cover on the top, but exactly the same build quality, other than the fact it's all LED, nice displays and everything. So yeah, so far it looks pretty good. The only downside I do know of is, once again, kilometers. It doesn't keep your mileage, and the possibility of it not being as well seen in daytime, I do not know yet, since I obviously can't test it. But so far, for the $50 Canadian, it seems like a great upgrade, as long as you know how to repin plugs. Even if you don't, this is a simple enough job that it's a great like starting thing. There's only 6 pins you have to reconnect, and I showed you the setup that obviously is working with every single function. Everything working, gas gauge, neutral, even though that doesn't really matter. So yeah. So for the $50 that it costs, I say it's a pretty good upgrade. Brings out the Navi's. Navi's looks up a little bit more compared to the normal dash. I think it's a great upgrade. Only thing is, the blue doesn't really go with the red of the build, but I'd rather that than the original dash that's kind of poorly lit in my opinion and doesn't look the best. But yeah, so for the cheap price, I'd say it's worth it.